In the last tutorial I showed you how to create a basic HTML page and some of the tags that are most commonly used in an HTML page. Now what I'm going to show you this time is how to take those tags that you've already created and add a little bit more customization to them. And what we would do is add what's called attributes and values to our tags. So for example, right now I've got my body tag. You can see it right here. It's telling the browser to open up the body of the web page. You can see that my background right now is white. If I wanted to change that to the color blue, for example, I would go inside my body tag and I would do a little space bar, and I'm going to add what's called an attribute, bg color, and I'm going to add an equals sign with the word blue in quotes. So I'm going to go ahead and save it and refresh it in my browser, and you can see now my background is blue. I could also do that with my paragraph tag. By default, my paragraph is aligned to the left. If I wanted to align my paragraph to the right, I could add a little space there, align equals quote, change it to right, go ahead and save that, and now my paragraph is aligned to the right. There are lots of different attributes and values that you can add within each tag. That's important because I'm going to show you now how to create links and images, and you need attributes and values when you call up links and images. So for example, if I wanted to link to Texas State University, I would put in the tag for a link, and for some reason the tag for a link is A. So you can see that I opened it here, and now I'm going to go ahead and close it, not caps, here. Now this will not show up in a browser as a link because the browser doesn't know what you're trying to link to. And what I want to do obviously here is link to a website. So I'm going to go ahead and add an attribute and value to this A tag. And what I did is I told the browser not just to make Texas State University a link, but I told it exactly where it needs to go. So I'm going to go ahead and save that, refresh it, and now you can see that my Texas State University is a link, and it actually takes me to the website. I can add another attribute and value to that. Not only do I want the browser to open it up, but I want it to open in a new tab. And so the attribute and value for that would be target equals quote underscore blank. So you can see my attribute is target equals, and my value is underscore blank. Go ahead and save it. And again, what this does is it opens my Texas State University link up in a new tab. Now the other thing that we could add is an image, and I'm going to go down here and add it after my list, and I'm going to type in the tag for an image is img. Now what's interesting about this tag is that you would think that you'd have to close it with an img tag, right? Because everything so far that we've opened we've also closed. Well, this is a unique tag in that it opens and closes all in one. The browser obviously doesn't know what kind of image I want to put in there. I put in my tag, but now I have to add an attribute and value to tell it where to find that image. So I'm going to find an image online, and I'm going to download, just going to go to Google Images. I'm going to search for wakeboarding because it's summertime. I'm just going to grab this image offline here, and I'm going to save it on my desktop, and I'm going to call it something very simple. Instead of having to code that long word, I'm just going to call it wakeboarding. And now you can see it showed up on my desktop. So I'm going to now tell the browser where to find that image, and the way that I do that is by typing the code src equals wakeboarding.jpg. Okay, so now what I'm telling the browser to do is open up that file that I just put on my desktop. And there it is. Now the reason that worked is because this image is in the same place as my index file. if this wakeboarding image was in my downloads folder or some other folder, or if my index was in my documents folder somewhere else, it would not be able to find this wakeboarding image. They have to be in the same folder, or both on your desktop, or both in the same place in order to be able to find it. Okay, so right now that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and maybe add another attribute and value. One that I'm going to add is width. I'm going to make a width of, let's say, 400 pixels. So you can see that, again, it's an attribute and a value. Save, refresh, and there it is. So that's just in a nutshell how to create a basic web page with attributes, values, with nested tags. Just remember, any tag that you open, you also need to close in some way. You'll notice that my image is both open and closed in one shot. And so those are just the basics of HTML.